1978. A quiet stretch of testing ground at Bovington Camp. Wind drifts across the open range as a small track vehicle inches forward, its engine humming low and steady. At first glance, it barely registers as a threat. It's compact, just 8 tons. The hull is squat, angular, and unusually low. No turret, no obvious weapon. Just a thin shell of aluminum that looks more like it belongs on a scout vehicle than anything meant for combat. Then something shifts. From the rear deck, a boxy launcher begins to rise. Slowly, deliberately, it lifts into position. 5 missile tubes angled skyward, pointing at nothing in particular. It looks unfinished, improvised, almost absurd. Cold War analysts studying early images couldn't make sense of it. The armor was too thin. The layout felt wrong. Even the gunner's position seemed misplaced, facing sideways, disconnected from the direction of fire. But this wasn't a mistake. This was the FV102 Striker, one of the most unconventional anti-tank vehicles ever built. And every strange decision behind it traced back to a single, urgent problem. In the 1960s, NATO faced a grim reality. Across the inner German border, the Soviet Union had amassed thousands of tanks, T-62s, T-64s, and the newer T-72s, ready to surge west in overwhelming numbers. British forces stationed in Germany were expected to hold the line. But the numbers didn't add up. They were outmatched, outnumbered, and outgunned. Traditional anti-tank weapons relied on visibility. If you could see the enemy, you could fire, but that also meant the enemy could see you. And in a tank battle, that usually ended badly. Britain needed a different kind of weapon. Not stronger, smarter. Something that could strike without exposing itself. That solution became the Swingfire missile. At its core, it was powerful, capable of punching through heavy armor at distances up to 4 kilometers. But what made it revolutionary was how it moved. Instead of flying straight, Swingfire could change direction almost immediately after launch. Thanks to a thrust vectoring system, it could swing sharply midair, up to 90 degrees, before locking onto its target. It could be fired from cover and guided around obstacles. And then came the real breakthrough. The gunner didn't even have to stay with the vehicle. Using a long guidance cable, the operator could position themselves up to 100 meters away, hidden in a trench, behind a ridge, or inside a building, while controlling the missile remotely. The vehicle stayed concealed. The gunner stayed alive. And the enemy might never know where the attack came from. To carry this system, Alvis Limited developed a family of lightweight armored vehicles. Among them was the Striker. Fast, low profile, and lightly armored, it wasn't designed to take hits. It was designed to avoid them entirely. With 5 ready missiles and additional reloads inside, it could deliver devastating strikes from a distance, then relocate before anyone could respond. Its role wasn't to fight head-on. It was to ambush, disappear, and strike again. For decades, that's exactly what it trained to do across West Germany, waiting for a war that never came. When conflict finally arrived in 1991 during the Gulf War, Strikers deployed with British forces into Iraq. They advanced through minefields and supported armored units across the desert, but no confirmed tank kills were recorded. It seemed the vehicle might never prove itself. Until 2003, in the marshlands of southern Iraq, during Operation Telic, British forces moved to secure key oil infrastructure. Iraqi defenses included entrenched T-55s, older, but still dangerous. A Striker took position. A missile launched. It arced, corrected, and struck its target. 1 hit, 1 destroyed tank. After nearly 3 decades of preparation, the Striker had done exactly what it was built to do. On paper, it had competitors, the American M901 ITV, the German Jaguar-1, Soviet missile carriers. But they all shared the same weakness. They had to see their targets. The Striker didn't. It gave its crew something rare on the battlefield: distance, concealment, and control. By 2005, it was gone, replaced by modern systems like the FGM-148 Javelin. But the idea behind it remains, because the Striker wasn't just a vehicle. It was a different way of fighting, a machine built on one simple principle. You don't have to be seen to be deadly.